The 1 month review of Eberlestock's Jacknife pack. So when this pack first came out, I did a first look at it. I went through some of the technical specs and my initial thoughts about the pack itself. And now about 30 or 40 days later, I've used it every single day and I've got some insight to share about what it's like to live with this pack. About a week after I put out that first look video of the Jacknife, Eberlestock released their marketing video for it, and they're aiming this pack to fit 3 categories. 1 as an EDC, 2 as a weekender, and 3 as a breakdown rifle or a weapons carry pack. So over the last 3 weeks or so, I've tested out all 3 of those functions, and I'll also talk about just the general fit, feel, and finish and quality of the pack as well. As an everyday carry bag, the Jacknife does a decent job. With the 1,000 cubic inches, you can hold just about as much stuff as you can need. With the internal media container to hold your laptop, you can go to work, you can put some food in here, a pair of clothes to go to the gym. It'll get you there and it'll get you back. The issues that I have with it are that there's no internal organization, which I talked a lot about in the first look video, and I've found that the clamshell pack is basically useless for an everyday carry purpose. 1, because it's kind of a pain to get into, having to undo all the straps, and the fact that you have to lay it flat to open it up. I usually don't use this unless I'm using it as the weapons carry function or the weekender function, because if you threw anything in the clamshell for a day-to-day purpose, you start walking around, the weight's going to carry everything to the bottom of the bag, and then when you open it up, it's just going to be a jumbled mess of your belongings. So I have almost exclusively utilized the main media compartment with a laptop separator and the little top pouch for smaller accessories like pocket knife, flashlight, wallet, keys, that kind of stuff. And the only time I've ever used this top pocket is to put Cliff Bars and snacks during a longer hike. So as an everyday carry bag, it looks great, it's comfortable, it'll get the job done, but there are some improvements that could be made. For the fit and finish of this pack, I'm okay with doing a 1 month review, honestly, because anything longer than that just falls onto the durability and the reliability of this pack. And I've used enough Eberlestocks for enough years, probably about like 10 or 15 years now. I've never had one of them fail on me, so I can say I don't think I'll need to do like a 1-year review of this. Not much is going to change. But in terms of fit for this pack, I'm about 6 foot, 190 pounds, and it fits the middle of my back very well. The adjustable shoulder harness means you can raise it and lower it to fit your personal need. It definitely feels wider than the Bandit, probably about just as wide as the Switchblade if you're familiar with those. So it rides very comfortably for everyday purposes. The shoulder straps are about 50% wider than the Bandits, which means when it's unsupported, as in you don't have a bunch of weight in your pack, they can feel a little wide, but once you get a rifle in your pack with some ammo or a full weekend worth of gear, those wider straps do a great job of distributing the weight, and it makes for a comfortable ride. I did take this pack for about a 3-hour hike when I had about 20 pounds of gear in it, and my shoulders never got sore. I was comfortable the whole time. And if I wanted to, which I don't think I'll need to, you can even purchase the additional hip strap and put that into this pack, so you can put more of that load onto your hips instead of onto your shoulders. Which is a good, perk of having this pack. Eberlestock did a good job designing that. I just don't think I'll be using this pack for extended heavy hiking trips though. But if you wanted to, that's absolutely something you could do. As a weekender bag or as a bug out bag / go bag, get home bag, whatever you want to call it, Eberlestock does say that it was designed for that purpose, largely due to the clamshell. So I can tell you that I did take a 2-day trip with this, where I just opened up that clamshell section and rolled up a whole bunch of clothes. Right now you can see I just got a pair of jeans, a hoodie, and a t-shirt in there. It all fit fairly easily. And on that 2-day trip I took, I packed pretty efficiently, like 2 t-shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of jeans, that hoodie, and then a small like Ziploc baggie full of toiletries. And I had just about everything I would need, including the main compartment where I had my camera, my laptop, a book, and a couple other personal items. The bag did a good job, but the clamshell is fairly narrow. It's not very tall back there, so you probably can't fit a pair of shoes, just a very flat folded up clothes. I could see how it could serve the function as a weekend bag or a go bag, but again, just having a little bit easier accessibility to that clamshell and having a little bit more depth back there would be nice. Along with the fit, feel, and finish, something to note is that if you want to access the clamshell part of your pack while you're walking, you'll need to unstrap it from your left side first and then swing it over your right shoulder, because the zipper will only be pointing up from this way. So if you're left-handed or you swing it across your left shoulder, you'll hit the side of the pack that doesn't have zipper access. So that's something to know. So let's talk about the third function of this bag as a breakdown rifle carry bag or a concealed carry weapon system. First, I would like to just point out how inconspicuous this bag looks. If you took my American flag off of it, it would just look like a normal gray backpack. So when I was around town and I was carrying, I didn't think I was really like showing off that I had some tactical pack and that there could potentially be a rifle or a pistol in here. And in fact, right now I do have that pistol caliber carbine in here, and I bet you wouldn't have guessed that unless I had just told you. So let's take a look at how that system is stored and how tight of a fit there might be. So that is Ruger's 9mm pistol caliber carbine. It does test the limits of the zippers pretty good there. So know what system you have, know how long your weapon is, and see if it'll fit before you purchase this pack. Barrel, I would like to point out, is always know where your zippers are. I always keep my zippers at the top of the pack, not the bottom, because if your barrel starts pushing against those zippers or your magazines fall down to the bottom of your bag, because they always will, because if you start carrying it and walking around, heavy things will go to the bottom. They can actually push those zippers open, and the worst case scenario is you have rifle protrusion or even your magazines falling out the bottom of your pack, which would definitely make for a bad day. So those two things aside, my carbine has a pretty tight fit in here. And even when I have it like pre-positioned, you can see that the zippers usually don't really want to close. So I kind of have to finagle it in there sometimes to really get it. But it does serve that purpose. I have carried that exact weapon in this bag before on a hike. It was comfortable the whole time. But I really, really wish that Eberlestock had built-in Velcro or MOLLE organization for magazines on the top of the clamshell. If there were little pockets up here, that would have been fantastic. It would have saved the hassle of having magazines fall around to the bottom of your system that potentially fall out your bag as soon as you open it up. You could invest in something like that aftermarket, but I don't think I'm going to put the extra money in this bag to do that. And if they do make any changes to it, that'd probably be one of the first things I did. Otherwise, happy with it for a range bag. It'll get your job done. And the only other thing I wish I could say, I wish to say, is that the zippers on the clamshell are exactly the same as in the main media carrying compartment. And I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to open up the main compartment and I end up opening or closing the clamshell instead. So, small point, but I just wish there was some differentiation between the style of zippers when they're all at the top of the bag. Just a couple closing thoughts now that we've covered the three main functions of the bag and the fit and finish. Like I pointed out in the first look video, the bottom of this bag is not flat. So every time you put it up against a wall or something, it will inevitably fall over. It's not a big deal, but it is kind of annoying. I'd like to actually mention that the handle is built very well, because usually with this pack, like I get to my car and I'll just grab the handle and throw it into the passenger seat. And even when this pack is loaded up fairly heavily, the handle holds up really well. It doesn't twist or wiggle too much, so that's solid. And also, like I said in the first look video, these elastic water bottle holders are great. I'm happy with those. And overall, this pack is really easy and nice to live with. I've gotten compliments on it by how good it looks. I just wish it was a little bit more polished in terms of organization and function, and instead of trying to be a jack of all trades, which I'm sure why it's called the Jacknife, I wish it was a little bit better at each of those individual functions, and especially with the price point it's at, I think the Bandit and Switchblade would suffice over buying a new pack. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll do my best to get back to them. If you want to see more content like this, I'll be trying to make more, and all subscriptions are appreciated. So until then, try to challenge yourself with something every day. Always be trying to get better. See you later.